Hello, everybody. Good old Baron Bananas here again. So, just before I kind of start, quick update. I just posted this on Twitter literally now. Tomorrow's 12 o'clock stream is going to be pushed back till a little later. I've got housework I need to do that could take a while. So, I'm sorry about that. So, yeah, no 12 p.m. Stream tomorrow. That'll happen later, potentially after 5, I'm thinking. Maybe even later than that. I'm unsure. I'll let you know tomorrow when I'm actually done all of that housework I need to do. And I'll let you know what time I'll fire up Stardew. But we're still good to go for today. Okay. Just gonna check something very, very fast. If this thing wants to fire up quick, good. Okay, yep, we're fine there. Alright. So, obviously, again, we are back with Katawa Shoujo. All of yesterday's stream was spent getting ourselves onto Rin's route. And, oh boy, did we get on her route alright. Oh. I still haven't gotten anything other than a T, so, yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of what she says is gonna fly right over my head. Oh well. So, to kind of sort of summarize what happened the last time for anyone that's just joining in now, we kind of didn't really make any connections with any of the other 4 girls. We just more or less were indifferent the whole time, so we didn't get any brownie points with them. We did, however, spend a little more time with Rin. Just kind of one day when we could have gone to the library and such. Instead, we decide to just kind of go back to our dorm to read a book. But then we see Rin still working on her mural, so we just kind of say, yeah, fuck it. Just sit down next to her and sort of somewhat chat to her about almost nothing. But just chatting. Then the art teacher kind of comes in just to see how she's doing, and then somehow that led to us saying, I think I'll join the art club. I don't know. Even Hisao was just kind of like, I don't really know why. Me and art don't go together that well. Well, whatever. Come the day of the festival, we wanted to go and do some fun activities, but we sat with Rin by her mural the entire time, even falling asleep. In fact, we both fell asleep together. She was leaning on our shoulder. We only woke up because the fireworks started. Then we woke Rin up so she could sort of watch them. It wasn't even a good viewing spot either. I guess we were looking through trees. They could have moved, but neither of them said is like, hey, how about we shift a little just so we can, you know, watch the fireworks better. Yeah, but in good old Hisao's words, I could be doing anything with my Sunday, and what do I choose to do? Nothing, but sit next to Rin. So already, this has a very different feel from the last 4 routes. Yeah, I mean, you can already see Rin's Act 2 cut-in right there now. We're almost there. We've almost got this whole thing filled out. We're close. Very, very close. In fact, I was looking at this yesterday, late last night. We are 76% done the game. We've gotten 76% of all the scenes. This one is annoying because you kind of have to do a roundabout way to get it. And this one, I'll talk about it later. But I know I got all of Lily's. Emmy is missing 1. More or less, yeah. She's missing one, basically. I know how to get that. Hanako, she's missing a few. One's just kind of making a different choice near the beginning, and the other two are her other endings. Shizune? Yeah, that's all bad end, and I really don't want to. Maybe one day I'll go back just to get the bad ends to truly 100% complete. But hey, we got all the opening cinematics. That's something. Alright. Enough of whatever that just was. We're gonna load up our save and get ourselves right into Act 2 of Rin's Route. It's already 8:30. This morning's class has not yet begun. We're supposed to have physics, but the teacher's nowhere to be seen. Had I known this beforehand, I would have slept in too. Suddenly, the classroom door slams open, and Muto grunts his morning greeting to us from the doorway. Good morning, everyone. Muto looks like he has not slept at all. The stubble, his messier than normal hair, and the stained dress shirt create a less than favorable impression. I guess he had fun last night at the festival, too. Excuse my being late. I ran into unexpected problems. I'm usually not one for festivals like this, but I hope you all had a good time. After all, these sorts of events are important for you all, since they give you a short reprieve from schoolwork. The class replies with various degrees of enthusiasm, and Muto proceeds to take roll and get started. Oh, right then. Today's subject is photon particles physics. Gee. Damn, dude. I mean, this is final year of high school for them, so that would be about when you'd learn that. Before long, I've descended into a comfortable coma-like state along with the rest of the class, letting Muto's rambling speeches pass through one ear and exit the other without leaving a trace. Now, who could tell me the solution to this problem? He's written a rather easy equation on the blackboard. Desperately, he tries to get the class to participate. Nobody? Come on, guys. Nakai, how about you? Unfairly singled out and cornered, I give him an answer. It causes his shaggy features to twist into a genial smile that would scare little children senseless. Precisely. Good work, Nakai. I'm both disturbed and honored by the fact he can remember my name only 1 week after I transferred here. Yeah, he did. And your first introduction to him, yeah, he was like, Nikki, Naka, just like making up names, couldn't remember. From what I've seen, Muto has serious trouble remembering the names of anybody else in the class, and most of them have been here since the first year. The room settles into a dreary mood, students and teacher alike trying to get back on track after the festival. I figure last week must have been frantic for everyone. Not a minute too soon, the lunch bells ring. Who the fuck? I mean, this is the student council theme. Misha, maybe? Where is it? Nope. That's not the student council theme. I'm an idiot. I've already forgotten what all these tracks are. This is just the one that almost seems to follow Misha around. Might be her unofficial theme. Sorry. Make way, important business! I have no idea who it is. I've never done this route. I turned my head just in time to see other people scatter out of the way as someone charges from the far end of the corridor toward the stairwell. It's too late to realize that I'm standing in the middle of the corridor, directly in the way of the oncoming human projectile. I try to skip backwards toward the doorway. Unfortunately, the person running towards me dodges in the same direction. In the following fraction of a second, several things come to mind in sequence, yet almost simultaneous. Oh, it's Emmy. I should have figured it was Emmy. Who else runs down the freaking hallways? Also, my cursor's been on that the whole time. I apologize. First, I recognize the girl who's on a collision course with me is Emmy. Second, I realize it feels somehow very natural to be tackled by Emmy once again. I could almost feel comfortable if not for the reflexive panic and terror. Third, Emmy seems to be carrying a foot-tall stack of papers while running in the hallway. Emmy, slow down. She crashes into me, but at least the impact was like grazing one of my arm this time. Why is this? Emmy, you chose to run down the hallway with a foot-tall stack of papers in your hands. That's a you problem. Actually, how tall is Emmy? Emmy Ibarazaki. Oh, she's 4'11". Okay. Yeah, wow, good job, Emmy. Owie. Why does this always happen to me? Gee, I wonder. Could it possibly have anything to do with you running through the corridor like you're on fire? She whimpers regretfully, looking like a hurt puppy. The sight makes me regret my snappish comment the very instant it emerges from my mouth. No, not the puppy dog eyes. But I was in a hurry. I can tell. Sorry. I've lost the Emmy voice, I'll tell you that right now. It's gone. Don't worry about it. Emmy wails weakly one last time and rubs her forehead as if to expel the ache while her gaze sweeps over the hallway floor. As she notices her neat stack of papers spread all over the floor in one big mess, she lets out a horrified yelp. Ah! The printouts! Oh no, what am I gonna do? Teacher will give me hell if they get dirty. They're probably fine. Let's gather them back up. It won't be a problem. We quickly round up the papers, and Emmy tries to sort the scattered pile in her hands back into the orderly stack it was. Where are you going? Nowhere in particular, I guess. Didn't want to be left alone with Muto in the classroom. I think he has a hangover. Have you eaten lunch? Not yet, but I'm not feeling very hungry anyway. She looks at me incredulously, as if doubting my sanity for letting such a thing out of my mouth. You should go to the roof! I promised Rin I would eat lunch with her. I bet she'd like company. Uh-oh. My lunches with Rin have been remarkably unsuccessful. I know where this conversation is going, and it's hard to not get drawn along, so I have little choice but to play ball. Okay, I'll go pick up some bread or something first. Emmy smiles brightly before I say anything further.
No, I'll go and deliver these super quick and then go buy lunch for us. And Rin too, of course. What kind of bread do you like?
It's fine. You really don't need to.
Don't worry, it's alright. Consider it an apology. I'll be back before you know it.
That's what I'm worried about. Don't get into another accident. Emmy starts walking down the hall, but since she's talking to me, she isn't watching where she's going. Yeah, that's totally Emmy.
I won't.
Famous last words. She's already jogging down the stairs as she shouts that not so reassuring promise back to me. Sighing quietly, I start plodding along in her wake. But instead of taking the stairs down, I climb upwards. The stairwell to the roof is unlit and just as creepy as it was before. The door squeaks weakly in protest as I push it open. Rin is there too, like Emmy said, lying on her back at the other end of the pebble-covered rooftop for some reason. Predicting something unnecessarily strange again, I walk to her as slowly as possible.
Hello.
She sounds very drowsy as she says that, stretching the end of the word with a slurred voice. Despite that, her eyes are wide open. I look down at her, my shadow overlapping her face. What are you doing? Rin raises an eyebrow.
I thought you had a heart problem, not an eye problem.
She answers, challenging the rationale of my perfectly valid question without even tilting her head to look at me. Rin's smartass comments are infuriating. The worst thing is that I'm not sure if she's doing it on purpose or not. Alright then, let me rephrase. Why are you lying on your back on the rooftop? She gives a lazy shrug and sniffs dismissively.
I'm trying to experience. People probably don't do this enough.
What exactly are you trying to experience here? I can't really tell, but there's probably a reason people don't do whatever. She's playing dodgeball with me again, answering my attempt at small talk with riddles I don't want to puzzle out. But I don't want to ignore her either.
Yeah, but the reason is that everyone is too busy with their lives to pay attention to the really important things.
Like watching the sky? She tears her gaze away from the sky and finally looks straight at me. The penetrating deepness of her eyes when she focuses them on something is startling.
You know, if you were a girl, I'd be able to see your panties.
The fuck is this, bro?
I'm barely in it. What the fuck?
Rinteska, everyone! If I was a girl, I wouldn't come this close to anyone who tried to sneak a peek at my panties. I have that much common sense.
I wouldn't either, but sometimes it can't be avoided. Like now, for example. To tell you the truth, I don't even really want to peek at your panties, though. Underpants are the soul of a girl. You shouldn't peek at someone else's soul, even if you're not a girl.
As a guy, I guess I can understand that. To us, there's some sort of half-mythical object that we can't quite comprehend. Ah, yes, the mystery of the panties. We know it well.
Yeah, that's exactly how I think of them too. What a coincidence.
It really is. So, did you have world history in the morning class?
I skipped class.
To do this?
Well, I'm not actually doing what it looks like I'm doing. Or at least I think that what I'm doing doesn't look like what I look like.
Doesn't look like what I look like, but from your perspective. Anyone know how I can just get immediately high or drunk, like right now, with shit I could find inside my room? Anyone? Think I could hotbox this room with a Sensi warmer? I need some kind of... I need something to help me understand this. Oh my god.
Probably. Yeah, I skipped class to do this.
I guess whatever your reason is, it's as good as any. Giving into the tired feeling in my legs, I sit down on the roof next to Rin. The pebbles are not the most comfortable bed in the world, but if she can stand it, then I should be able to as well.
What are you waiting for?
Hmm?
Try it.
I bend my neck backwards to take a look at where she's looking. The silvery blue sky, dotted by herds of cloud sheep, fills my field of vision entirely. While it's pretty, the view is nothing special, even though the weather is fair. I give a shrug, trying my best to imitate the nonchalant manner which Rin seems to have evolved to perfection, and lie down on my back. The stones poke at my back through my thin shirt whenever I shift my weight even a little, forcing me to keep as still as possible. I try to ignore the discomfort and myself, instead concentrating on the vastness over us. Far above, the summer clouds drift soundlessly across the dome of the sky. Neither of us has anything more to say, thus silence covers the rooftop. The subdued noises of students on their lunch break, cicadas in the trees, and traffic buzzing past the school are humming pleasantly somewhere in the background. Listen, I had a great time yesterday.
Did you?
Well, to be honest, no. But it was alright. It was probably the longest time I've ever sat in one place without doing anything, which is kind of impressive. I try to make it sound as convincing as possible.
Is that impressive?
I think it is. I'm usually too restless to do anything like that.
I think I had a good time too.
A cloud passes above us, casting its shadow on the school. A chill surges through me from the sudden change of sunlight to shade. I realize that summer is not in its full bloom quite yet. The only measure of time passing is the slow pace of the clouds moving towards the town. Stray beams of golden sunlight leak through the gaps, blinding me for a moment whenever they hit me directly in the eyes. The blue of the sky looks so unreachable. This reminds me of the time I spent in the hospital, where I was bored out of my mind on a daily basis. Somehow, it didn't matter after a while. I learned to appreciate other things besides watching TV and gossiping with people I didn't even like. A comprehensive sensation of calmness spreads from my sight to my other senses, finally hitting my brain. An airplane zooms by, leaving two twin contrails in its wake, like a pair of chalk lines drawn from one end of the sky to the other. I wonder where it's heading. The low din of its engines carries all the way down to my ears, although it's barely audible over the racket from the quad. It's nice. It's nice, but I don't understand why this is more important than going to class. Isn't it good to do something you like? Every once in a while? Of course, but... What are you doing? Emmy has snuck up on us without either noticing. Is only a step away from me, holding several packages wrapped in a plastic film in her arms. She leans forward and peeks over me, overshadowing my face almost exactly the same way I overshadowed Rin before. I wonder how weird this looks, the two of us lying on our backs on the rooftop. That's what I asked too. I would be more concerned about what you're doing. If I were you, I wouldn't come that close to people who could see your panties. Rin! Emmy's voice is scandalized, but she quickly takes a step backward, pressing her hands against the front of her skirt so abruptly that the parcels of bread she was carrying fall. Oh my god, Rin is so goddamn blunt when she's not being cryptic. I quickly avert my eyes and glance angrily at Rin. She pretends not to see me.
Sal isn't like that, right?
Right. Emmy scowls at Rin and crouches down to pick up the packages. She wipes the dust off them and skips lithely around me to Rin's other side, where she sets herself down.
Anyway, here's your bread. Sorry it took a while.
That's alright. Thanks for treating me. I pull myself up into a sitting position and gratefully accept the bread Emmy is offering. All three of us ravenously dig into the simple meal. Bread is surprisingly decent and readily fills my stomach. I follow from the corner of my eye the skill with which Rin handles her bread between her feet.
I haven't seen you on the track in a few days.
Oh, right, I figured it was too heavy a routine for me to start with.
So, you've been doing something else?
I've been considering my options. She frowns, but doesn't pursue the issue further, for which I'm thankful. Emmy seems pretty headstrong, and I wouldn't really want to get pestered by her about this on a daily basis. I have enough burdens to bear with Shizune and Misha already. If only we knew. If only he knew what happened in another version of this, where he gets so used to running in the morning, when Emmy isn't there, he does it anyway. And oh boy, the burden of bearing with Shizune and Misha. We all know what happens when we hang out with them a lot. Whoo, Nelly. We barely finished the lunch before the bells ring, calling us back to our classrooms. Great.
Hee-chan!
Misha waves at me as soon as I enter and starts talking before I even make my way across the classroom. Hey, do. Yeah, I used a flowchart in order to get onto a route, and I was shocked how there's literally only one choice you have to make to get on Rin's route, and it's like the last choice after skipping out on everybody else. I'm also just kind of like, I need to be high to understand half of what Rin is even saying. This is wow for me right now, just wow.
How was your festival? Did you have fun?
Still somewhat undecided on that. I'd say probably. Why? Insert wahaha here.
Just asking, just asking.
Her eyes glint in a way that tell me she's not just asking. I can't even start to guess her motives, though. As the well-timed entrance of the English teacher prevents us from talking further, Misha falls back to Plan B. Oh, Christ. The hell's Plan B? Oh! Notes, of course. I was there all day with Shi-chan. We had a lot of fun. I don't read notes, invoices. I think it's easier because it's literally like what I'm reading in my head. And I'm basically reading it to myself, so I'm not going to be sitting there as Sasao trying to read it out in Misha's voice. I'd just be reading it as words on paper. Weren't you supposed to be doing work? Don't worry, everything went really well. SpongeBob Rainbowing. High school tropes. I don't reply to that, and she leaves me alone after Shizune demands her attention. My own attention, on the other hand, is directed out the windows. Now that I look at it from here, through the window and the foliage just outside, the sky seems smaller. I catch only small glimpses of blue. Everything else is a clutter of noise right in the middle of my field of vision. What experience did Rin want out of staring at the sky? Surely she's done it before. Everyone has. It's no use trying to guess her mind, but if I don't do that, they have no excuse for not concentrating on the teacher's words. I look at the scribbles appearing on the blackboard, trying to figure out their meaning with little success. English really is not my favorite subject. We have a strong mutual dislike for each other. Thick, hot afternoon light invades the corridor, making the air feel heavy and lazy. My body feels weighed down by it as I drag it 2 doors down the hall to the art classroom. Maybe this is part of the reason why I didn't join any clubs before. Afternoons just aren't suited for activity. Dude, they're the only time you get in school. I knock on the door of the art room and open it. A girl, who was possibly doing something important with a scroll of paper she's carrying, turns to reckon me, and smiles in a sweet, if a bit confused manner. Rando student number 400. I don't know.
Hello?
This is the art club, right?
Yep. You interested in joining?
Yeah. In fact, I might have already done so, but we'll see. I give her a weak smile, and her own widens a notch, making me feel less nervous.
Great. Have a seat then. We'll start when the teacher gets here.
Without even scouting the room for a good spot, I walk quickly to the back of the room and settle myself on a free seat, apart from everyone else. A few other members are lounging in their seats, waiting for the teacher. Rin sits alone in a window seat looking outside. She's the only person here that I know, although a guy I've never really gotten along with my other classes here too. Oh, the guy with the beret and bandage over his ear. Good old, I'm gonna call him... Fuck, I'm blanking on the name. Mini Van Gogh here. Or Van Gogh. Scotty. It's just Scotty. He's like the only one of the only ones you really see wearing the full uniform half the time. Nobody else comes to greet me. Maybe introductions are left for later? So I just settle for silent observation as well. One boy has sunglasses on. An odd sight indoors. Were we not at Yamaku? I'll bet he's the blind student Rin was talking about. The wait proves to be extremely short. Nomiya walks over to stand behind his desk in 3 long strides, then gives a smile and a flamboyant greeting. Good afternoon, everyone! First things first. So there's a new member, so everyone get along with him. He winks at me unsettlingly. All 8 members of the club, including myself, answer his greeting with considerably less enthusiasm. Still, people finally straighten up in their seats and begin to pay attention. I think some of you still have projects to work on, so please continue with those if you like. As for the rest, I was thinking that today we could do some rough studies. How does that sound? Nobody answers except with some unintelligible murmurs, which Nomiya apparently interprets as unanimous approval. Alright then. Everyone not working on other projects, choose a partner and draw a sketch of one another. You should be able to complete this today, but if not, we can continue it next time. Or even do it again if you find it interesting. Remember to pay attention to lighting and shadow, and give it your best! Pairing up? Feel pretty awkward about it, hardly knowing anyone here. I wish someone would ask me to be their partner. People stand up and move their chairs closer together, but nobody comes to me. Pretty soon, everyone else is paired off. Friends team up with each other, but I'm left alone. Well, there is Rin. She's sitting in the furthest corner of the classroom, still staring out the window and seemingly uninterested in taking part in the exercise. Since she's the only other one without a partner, I walk to her seat. I can't see her face because her hair is covering most of it, and she's looking away from me. Rin? I call out to her. No response. Hey, wanna partner up? You're the only one I know here. She seems to finally acknowledge my presence, head turning like a robot as she looks to see who's addressing her. Rin doesn't answer, and I don't want to repeat the question either. I'm sure she heard it the first time. Why doesn't she say anything? It can't be such an awful fate to be paired up with me, can it? I mean, we're 4 for 4 so far of having good endings. So I think we're doing alright. She doesn't look at my face, and instead stares directly at my chest and stomach. Gee, I wonder what she could potentially be looking at.
Oh, okay. Why not?
Okay. Good. Great. I'll get the stuff for us. Looking at the equipment Nomi has prepared for today's meeting confuses me. Instead of graphite or pencils, we're apparently supposed to do ink sketches. I've never done anything like that before. The teacher, however, seems confident in my abilities to adapt to this medium. It's your first goddamn day and he's already making you try to sketch stuff. Holy shit, Nomia. Simple! First you do the outlines in ink. You let them dry, and then you shade with the diluted ink. This is called India ink. It works like watercolors. If you're uncomfortable with it, use a pen instead of a brush for the outlines. Got it. You really don't got it. I pick up paper, water cups, one pen for me, one brush for Rin, and ink for both of us, then return to Rin. Grabbing a vacated chair from nearby, I seat myself directly opposite her.
Do you want me to do it with my foot or my mouth?
What did you say? Asao, get the mind out the gutter, buddy. She tilts her head, her brows forming questioning arches, as she doesn't understand that I didn't understand the question.
I don't mind drawing either way. You'll look better if I do it with my foot, though.
With your foot, then, if it's all the same to you. Nodding in answer, Rin gets up from her seat and kicks off her sandals. In two fluid motions, she picks up the paper sheet and drops it on the floor, then snatches the brush between her toes, before sitting on the floor in a weird half-cross-legged position. Although I've seen her do everything with her feet already, from eating to painting, the display of dexterity is so... What? Is that prodigious? Do not be prodigious. Prodigious, prodigious, probably prodigious.
Prodigious.
It is prodigious. Jesus, thank you, Izzy from Digimon, for saying prodigious all the time. I can somehow recognize the word. This display of dexterity is so prodigious that I stare at her, stunned. Rin contemplates her blank paper intently. The sharp tip of her brush hovers over the paper in anticipation. When she raises her head to see if I'm ready, I quickly turn my face away.
I'll go first. Make a pose.
What kind of pose?
It doesn't matter. That's the point. You have to make the sketch of the impression you get, not decide beforehand.
I end up just sitting in my chair, my hands hanging limply between my knees. I look at her, and she looks at me for a moment before beginning. Rin's stare is piercing, but impassive, as if she's trying to absorb a part of me into her own self. I feel like I'm physically shrinking under the pressure of her gaze. I get the feeling that for the first time since we met, Rin is actually looking at me, instead of in my general direction. She sketches with confident, bold sweeps of the delicate brush, not caring about the potential destructive consequences of an accidentally misplaced stroke. After she's happy with the outlines, she stands up to pose for me, stretching her back and legs. This time, she doesn't look at me. Instead, Rin lets her gaze wander around the room. I'm relieved. It's easier to stare at someone when they aren't staring back at you. Come on. Staring contest. Staring contest. Me and you, chat. Let's go. You blinked. I win. Even so, I find it hard to get the sketch going. I'm not especially artistically talented, so I'm scared my portrait will turn into something disfigured, especially when compared to my partner's skill. Art is subjective, bro. It's all good. Art is subjective. I don't want to embarrass myself too badly on the first try. Rin is not helping the process either. She doesn't stand still for even 10 seconds, tilting her head from side to side to judge her drawing, biting her lower lip, looking unsatisfied, and constantly shuffling around like she was on hot coals. I finally managed to make some headway on my sketch, and with my outlines done, we both start inking in the shadow and light. Nomiya passes by and remarks on the beginnings of our sketches. Very good. Standing figure is easier for a beginner to get a grasp of. But I didn't choose the pose. I look at him, and then at Rin in confusion, but he's already moving on to the next pair, and Rin seems unresponsive. Just like when she was painting the mural, Rin has become so engrossed with her work that it seems has shut me, the classroom, and the entire world itself out from her own little sphere of existence. Every now and then, she leans backwards, seeming to get some perspective. Sometimes she bends forward, leaning down until her nose almost touches the paper. This rocking back and forth looks silly. Suddenly, Rin proves she hasn't completely drifted off into a world of her own and speaks.
Are you having fun already?
She doesn't raise her eyes from the drawing, which is a good thing. The breaking of the silence sends a jolt of surprise through me, as if I'd been electrocuted. I don't know yet. It's hard to say. I can't hear how she replies to my answer, because it seems she's suddenly having a private, whispered conversation with her sketch. I don't understand how she can draw so well when she has the attention span of a butterfly. As it seems she's lost her interest, I go back to work on my drawing as well. I try to add texture to Rin's hair, to somehow grasp the way the golden afternoon sun lights her bright red tassel aflame, and transfer it to my paper in shades of black and gray. Alright, you're getting a little artistic here, buddy. Somehow, this pen and the bottle of ink seem like such lousy, inadequate tools for the task. Minutes pass, but the sketch doesn't magically look any more like Rin than it did before. Her voice wakes me up from my despair.
What about now?
Excuse me?
Are you having fun already?
Why do you keep asking that?
Because it's a club, right? Clubs are meant to be fun. You join to have fun. Are you having fun?
Is it important that I'm having fun?
Yes.
Okay, I'm having fun.
Good.
I wonder if I said that just to please her, or if I really meant it. I can't really decide which it was. I don't hate this, though. I can honestly say that much. It's good enough for now. As the allotted time to finish the studies quickly ticks away, I desperately try to improve my awful sketch, but it doesn't seem to get any better. I want to start again from scratch, but what would be the point? There's no time for that either. Okay, everyone, that's it for today. Please turn in the drawings on my desk, and I'll see you all next Monday. I glance at my portrait. It doesn't exactly look like Rin. I guess you could say it portrays her, but that might be a bit generous. I mean, I can tell it's Rin. Kinda got the vacant look on her face down. The nose and jaw look hideous, and the shading is terrible. Granted, it's my first attempt at drawing with ink, but it's still pretty bad. That's not bad. She sneaked up behind me while I was lost in thought. Damn it. I was hoping I could smuggle the portrait of the teacher without you seeing it. Why? I'm not really happy with it. I wish I could draw better. You just need some practice. Could you take my drawing to the teacher too? Curious myself about how the sketch turned out, I peek at the picture. From the way Rin was drawing, it looked like she was really into it. It's excellent. Somehow the seemingly arbitrary strokes come together to form an image of my face, from the shape of my chin, to the messy hair, to the somewhat gloomy expression. That actually is pretty good. Like, that perfectly encapsulates Act 1, his Sao, just... yeah, whatever, I'm here. Her sketch blows my mind. Right. I have no idea what'll lead to a good or bad ending. So we're gonna save. I might have multiple saves for Rin. I am unsure. So it's either I say you're amazing or I wish I was as good as you. I mean, the compliment is... it is a compliment, reaffirming her skills. I wish I was as good as you. That just kind of, like, downgrades my own skill. I mean, even Rin said mine wasn't that bad, and I just need practice. Plus, again, art is subjective. Art is totally subjective. Everyone has their own likes and dislikes, and there's different tastes. A lot of the time, it's what the painting makes you feel, or what you think they were trying to express through it. I'm no art connoisseur, but I can give it a shot. Granted, I have not really been to any art museums. Not really that many around, me, but oh well. I feel like I shouldn't be comparing myself to her, because I don't think that's the right way to go about it. I would compliment her skill. That's more or less what I've been doing the entire time. Even with her mural, I said, well, it looks great. And again, she said, oh, actually, this is a finished work, so it won't have the 7 years bad luck thing she was talking about beforehand. Of, you know, giving, like, complimenting a, you know, an unfinished work brings 7 years bad luck. God, how do I remember that from Act 1? If anyone in chat wants to chime in on their opinion, without any kind of spoilers whatsoever, go ahead. So I'm almost thinking going with "You're amazing." Because just wishing I was as good as her, I feel like Rin doesn't want to be compared to. As something, as just a goal to achieve, to get to her skill level. Because, I mean, she is never really satisfied with her own work. She wasn't really happy with the mural, I don't think. It was just done.
I'm ready to flip a coin for this thing.
Yeah. I do actually really like this freaking photo, though. This is pretty good. I want to know which of the artists that worked on this actually drew that. I'm sure there's some way to find out. This could also be one of those choices that don't affect an ending, so I'm just overthinking it for no reason. Yeah. Flipping a coin at this point. Alright. Heads, it's amazing. Tails, I wish I was as good as you. If I don't like the choice I get, I'm going with the other one. And I dropped the coin. Let's try that again. Let's try that, make that a little better. Heads. I gotta find that coin after. So, you're amazing. Wow, you're amazing.
It's not that amazing. But thanks.
I take a closer look at her work. It's still glistening with slowly drying ink. You know, I kind of look grim here.
You do look kind of grim. I mean, I agree. But it's also true otherwise, too. Like this you, not the one I made.
I do?
I think so, at least.
Her simple statement makes me suddenly feel incredibly self-conscious. I feel like I need a mirror right now to confirm or debunk Rin. It's a nasty feeling. Maybe it's just her. I hope it's just her and I don't look like that sketch to everyone. It's a good sketch. Somehow I get a really oppressive feeling from it. I see. Anyway, it looks really good. You really are amazing.
Thanks. I'm glad I could draw you. You are an interesting person.
You're an interesting person too, but that didn't help me much. My self-deprecation has no limits today, but Rin ignores it all. I knew that I could never compare, but to see the difference in my own eyes is quite humbling.
See? I tried to make you look like you think a lot, since you did a lot of thinking. And yeah, I might have overdone the fed up with life expression, but cynics are like that, right?
I want to retort something snappy, but Nomiya gives me no time to think, ushering us to the door. Hurry up, you two! While we've been chatting, the rest of the club has taken their leave. I quickly pick up our drawings and take them to the teacher's desk, before hurrying after Rin, who has already left the classroom. She's not in the hallway, to my surprise. I wonder where she managed to run off to in just a few seconds. Would have been nice to talk more. Well, not that I had much to say, except maybe get back at her for calling me a cynic. You are a cynic. It's surprisingly late. I already got used to school ending at the same time every day, so I can feel the extra hours in my head. And my gut. My growling stomach reminds me that I am absolutely ravenous. I'm so hungry that I dare to try anything the cafeteria staff deemed edible. Even when I see today's delicacy, fried mystery lumps, my steely resolve doesn't fade. I stuff the dinner down without tasting it at all, which is probably for the best. I don't have much homework to do, but what little I have won't get done by itself, so I stroll toward the dormitories. Preparing for the post-homework lull, I knock on Kenji's door. Why would you willingly knock on Kenji's door? Why? Just why? Why do you want to willingly engage with Kenji? He responds from the other side, although I can't make out what he said. I try the door, but it's locked. After several seconds, the locks click open and he opens the door. Hi. Hey, could I borrow a book? The library was already closed after I got away from my club meeting. He's squinting even more than usual, and his eyebrows are twitching nervously. Club? That's dangerous, man. Indoctrination, groupthink, brainwashing, you name it. High school clubs sow the seeds of conspiracy. Do you know how many secret societies have grown from high school clubs? Watch your back. Don't get too deep in. You might not come back. Okay, Kenji. So, how about that book? Sure. Go return them, but don't spoil any of my books. No drinks, no food stains, no bodily fluids. Capiche? Sure. Thanks. Instead of letting me in, he retreats from the door, closing it again. After a few seconds, he returns with a stack of 3 thick books and hands them over to me. Opening the topmost one, a familiar emblem stamped on the copyright page greets me. Your books? These are from the school library. They're now mine. You stole these? What are you talking about, man? I've been liberating these from the oppressive feminist movement that controls the library. Please say oppressive feminist movement doesn't mean that poor librarian girl Yuko. She couldn't even oppress a wet towel. Kenji turns away, mumbling something I can't make out, and closes the door behind him. Again, as I went through the last time, while it was cut from the main game, it is still heavily implied that Yuko and Kenji used to date. So, him being kind of weird around the library makes sense. Before going to my own room, I enter the bathroom. While washing my hands, my eyes catch my reflection from the mirror above the sink. I try to look for the grimness rinse on me, but it's just the usual me inside the mirror that stares back. I attempt to tell myself that this is what I've always looked like, but realize I don't remember what I looked like half a year ago. I wake up all sweaty, as if I had run a half marathon in my sleep. Odd. I don't recall sleeping badly. I sense a little pang of worry through me. I wouldn't want to have my heart acting up without being able to notice it. Still, apart from this odd exhaustion right after waking up, I'm feeling just fine. It was probably the mystery lumps, bro. The mystery lumps did something to you. My mouth is like sandpaper, and I have nothing to drink, so I have to go all the way to the bathroom to take my meds. On impulse, I decide to take a shower while I'm at it. Yeah, let's hope Kenji isn't there asking for more money in the nude again. So we don't need that. While I'm in the shower, I make up my mind that this counts as morning exercise, if I properly compensate with a nice half-hour walk to after school. Obviously, I wouldn't want to risk possible complications by going running now. Besides, Emmy will never know, and I think she's given up on me, in any case. Walking could be nice, anyway, just to get to know the area. There's a big forest in the hills behind the school, or I could go down to the convenience store. While still dabbing the moisture off my skin, I set out to find my uniform. I quickly button up my shirt and pull on my pants before going outside. Normally, during this time of year, I'd be eagerly awaiting summer vacation. Having only been at school for a little over a week, I don't really have that kind of feeling. I'm still savoring the school life and considering the sharp and awkward turn my life has taken. I haven't had the time to become preoccupied with getting free of it. Besides, once vacations hit, it'll be a nice surprise for me if I'm not expecting it. Especially with the end-of-term exams looming ahead. At least I don't have any catching up to do with my studies. My diligence has finally paid off. I push myself past the boys gathered in the doorway and flop into my seat. From the corner of my eye, I can see Shizune and Misha pause their unavoidably animated conversation and turn almost simultaneously in my direction. They clearly want something from me. I can tell from the way Shizune smiles. It's too obnoxiously bright to be sincere, and too calculated to be spontaneous. Oh, man. Even when I'm not on her route, I cannot get away from Shizune.
Good morning.
Her greeting is made of 100% cheer and bursting energy. Morning. I fail to put either of those into my response.
You don't look very energetic.
No wonder. I don't feel very energetic either. I think I didn't sleep well, but I'm not sure. She slaps me in the back and grins. Great, we're gonna die of a heart attack right here, guys. Bad ending number 1. See you later. My god. I'm just ready to kill him.
Cheer up a bit. It's a great day.
I catch Shizune's eyes. She has a strange, focused expression on her face, but she furrows her brow a little at direct eye contact and looks away. For a moment, I think that Shizune caught a glimpse of my worries, somehow, and is pondering how to respond. But then she quickly straightens her glasses, and with them, her expression.
Anyway, we were wondering if you're still interested in that student council position, because we're going to make an offer that you can't decline.
Wait, what? I wasn't really interested in the first place. You're putting words in my mouth.
Not as such. But wouldn't it be nice to hang out with us every day while also being useful to your school?
I had an entire route of that. I already had a route of that, you two. We just finished that. It was okay. I don't want to do it again. Please no. I don't need everything I want to do being turned into a goddamn game Shizune wants to win. As much as I like Shizune, I can't deal with that 24/7. I don't need that in another fucking route. Please. Well, to tell you the truth, I kind of joined a club. So it'd actually be sort of hard for me to join the council, too. Even if I wanted to. Which I don't, as I said.
Is that so? Which club is it, He-chan?
The art club. Why is she pissed off I joined the art club? Shizune's eyes glint in a sinister way as she scowls at me. With the way she looks, I'll be expecting the art club to lose its funding before lunch break, or the art teacher to mysteriously disappear from the face of the earth. Oh my god. Yet, new announcement, art club has been cancelled forever. Thank Hisao. All clubs Hisao joins will now forever be cancelled until he joins the student council, as declared by the student council. Before she manages to comment, the teacher finally enters the classroom, getting Shizune and Misha off my back, and sending everyone rummaging in their bags for books and pens. I did join the art club, but the first meeting didn't really boost my confidence. I'm not really sure what I'm doing it for. I wish I could draw like Rin, but I don't know what I would do if I could. To what end would I use such a skill? I don't really know. I ignore the teacher's sleep-inducing voice. Ignoring the teacher's sleep-inducing voice, I open my notebook to an empty page and press the needle-sharp graphite tip of the pencil onto it. What to draw? Can't really think of anything good to draw. As I hesitate and raise my hand, the meek black mark left on the previously blank page seems aggravating. Can't even seem to get to the starting line, let alone get started. It's almost a physical feeling of being held back. Annoyingly, it reminds me of my failed attempt at jogging with Emmy. I look out the window in desperation. Right then, a small bird takes flight from one of the cherry trees that grow everywhere on the school grounds. Can't really see it clearly, and it's not like I could tell one tiny bird from another, but I pick it as my subject anyway. Conjuring up the image of a bird in my mind, I turn my gaze back to the notebook and deliberately draw a thick line across the paper to get started. It seems to be mocking me, as I can't follow up right away. Still, it's a start. Getting started is good. I slowly sketch the picture on my notebook page, the image of my brain becoming clearer as the drawing takes shape. It's really nothing, just that nameless nothing bird on paper, but that's not important. My hesitation fades into the background, along with the teacher's voice, as I continue my struggle. The feathers form a simple pattern in my mind, but on paper, it's a mess of too many rough lines despite my best efforts. And I realize I don't really know what a bird's wing should look like, even if I try to think about it. I even put the pencil down and closed my eyes for a moment, trying to trace the shape of a wing in my mind. Being this serious about it all of a sudden makes me a little frustrated. Art class in middle school was the easy class in between exhausting subjects like math or Japanese. But there's this other side to art, the one that you see when you just don't fool around. It's almost like a completely different thing. Hee-chan? I look up to see two girls staring back at me. Misha and Shizune have carried their chairs to my desk and are now standing by my sides, looking at my drawing. How long have you two been there?
I think you need more practice.
Shizune draws a few sharp signs in the air between herself and Misha.
Shi-chan agrees.
Ren said the exact same thing yesterday, but why did it sound less condescending? Condescending. Ugh. Do I have any? I have no more tea left. Damn it. Also, let me know how the sound is. I think I tried messing with my mic to make it myself a tad bit louder. And I don't know if it's too loud. Especially when I voice Misha. You shouldn't judge before I'm finished. Besides, don't you know it's bad luck to see an unfinished piece of work? Misha cracks at extravagant laughter.
What? Don't be silly! There's no way that could be true.
Misha's supposed to be too loud anyway. I mean, that's true, but if I'm just doing my regular talking voice and it's too loud, I want to know. I did mess with things, and I don't know if I brought them back to the right levels or not. Don't worry, I know Misha's supposed to be loud. Regular talking is perfect? Alright, cool. Cool. Whatever. Shizune's eyebrows furrow dangerously, and the movement of her hands becomes abrupt, like the slashing of a knife.
You should learn to take constructive criticism better.
I would if you'd actually offer some. I know I'm getting too defensive, and that Shizune is taking advantage of it, but I can't help it. What are you two doing here anyway? Misha wags her finger admonishingly at my nose.
Tisk tisk, Hee-chan. Were you not listening to the teacher at all? We have a group assignment now.
I nod bleakly and let them take the lead.
So, what do you think of the lesson for today?
Not much of anything. I didn't listen to a word of it. Misha slaps her forehead and shakes her head theatrically.
What are we gonna do with you, Hee-chan?
Luckily, Shizune and Misha together are more efficient than 3 or 4 normal people, so I can mostly slack on the assignment. I try my best to offer at least some assistance, but end up being mostly useless. The teacher keeps us in class 5 minutes past the lunch bells, but eventually lets us off the hook. I quickly stuff my books into my bag, while Shizune and Misha carry their chairs back to their own seats. The failure of the bird drawing ends up crumpled and stuffed in my pocket as I hurry outside. I thought it looked fine. After that morning class and throughout the week, I keep bumping into Rin. Hello. This is somewhat natural, as our classrooms are adjacent. But rather than just cross paths in the hallway like people regularly do, we seem to pause at the sight of each other. We invariably end up talking a little bit, or just silently hanging out together. I think I'm getting used to being quiet in Rin's company, as it doesn't feel awkward anymore. I am, by nature, somewhat introverted like her, so we fit together well. I think it's actually an anomaly for someone in this school to be so quiet. Most people here seem to love socializing. I think it's something that I've noticed already, even though I haven't been here very long. People here talk a lot, and they talk all the time. It's a rare case when I see someone sitting alone, just spacing out or whatever. Obviously there are people here like that here too. That Hanako girl and myself, just to name 2 from my own class. But overall, they are the minority. At any rate, I wouldn't exactly call what Rin and I do socializing either. But it's something at least. These occurrences themselves don't bother me, but the fact that they happen at all does. I'd hesitate to say that we're drawn together by something, but we certainly act as if we were. However, The sense of a budding friendship is completely wrecked every time Rin opens her mouth.
Can I listen to your heartbeat?
Rin, I don't understand what you say half the time, but the stuff I do makes me laugh. She says this, or something else about as outrageous, and I have to fend off whatever nonsense her mind has cooked up during the preceding class of a subject that she is not interested. I cannot read today. I cannot read. Let me try that again. She says this, or something else about as outrageous, and I have to fend off whatever nonsense her mind has cooked up during the preceding class of a subject that she is not interested in. It seems that Rin has taken a shine to my heart condition as some kind of an extension of her interest in the odder disabilities that people here have, and the consequences of said afflictions. As I stand in front of her for a second too long, looking as flummoxed as I am, she concludes it's necessary to further clarify her request.
I know I can, but I mean, will you let me?
Why?
Do I need a reason? I'm usually pretty bad with reasons.
Not per se, but if you want to do it, you probably do have a reason.
That's kind of clever. You are smarter than you look.
Also, I'd rather you not. I think these things should be private.
Private. I get it.
I can tell you something, though, if it amuses you. I'm pretty sure it will. My heartbeat does sound very weird because of the, condition. And I hear it. All the time.
So you're paranoid.
It's not a question, it's a statement. No, I'm not paranoid. The doctor said that a normal attention to heartbeat is a common symptom of my condition.
So for you, it's normal to be paranoid.
It's not a question either. One could also say that me being like this in the first place isn't normal either, but what the heck. Paranoia fits me fine.
I don't think it's something that actually can fit anyone or anywhere. You know, I ate an orange today for breakfast.
How was it? I'm vaguely proud of myself, managing to keep up with Rin's sudden change of topic.
Excellent. I don't remember when I last ate an orange, because it's annoying to peel one. It's on the list of things I want to learn properly.
How come you ate one then?
Emmy had some, so she peeled one for me.
Good for you. Rin stretches her back and yawns and says nothing further. She throws me a glance from the corner of her eye while she watches people pass by, but I couldn't say why. I realize, though, this is the first time I've talked naturally about my condition with anyone. In a way. A group of boys walk past us to Rin's classroom, but she doesn't pay them any mind. They pay none to her either. My mind wanders off, spurred by the silence. Maybe I should have let her listen to my heart. It's not like it matters. Nothing really matters that much at the end of the day. I start feeling depressed for no reason again. It's like a tidal wave out of nowhere, rolling over my consciousness, submerging me underwater. I feel a sigh coming out of my mouth and turn away from Rin, pretending to read a poster on the wall. It's an advertisement for the school festival, promoting an event almost a week past. The difference between me and Rin is that I'll be more likely more likely than not, dead before turning 30. Now she can't eat oranges without help. I can't decide which one of us is worse off. Any of us could be dead before 30, man. You never know. And the orange thing, that'll take time. But it's Rin. She's managed to figure a lot of things out. So, oranges, yeah, she'll get it eventually. Try to grasp the passing of time, but it seems hard. I'm still used to the rhythm of the hospital, where trivialities such as the day of the week or time of day didn't really matter. Everything was the same, no matter what. Rediscovering the significance of time is an oddly disorienting experience, and I find myself enjoying the fact that I can categorize events in this fashion. The relevancy of a ticking clock is surprisingly delightful, and I decided to start wearing an analog wristwatch, something I didn't used to do before. When I finally asked Rin on Thursday about something that's been bothering me for the entire week, it's already lunchtime. My god. We actually see the wristwatch that he wears in every route and says, I look at the watch on my wrist. This is the only time we're actually seeing the damn thing. Also, his hand looks a little odd. It seems like his actual hand is too long. I don't know. That's just me. I mean, mine's a digital, but I haven't worn this thing since before everything shut down because of work. Yeah, I don't know, it seems too long. His hand seems way too big. Does it even have the right time? Okay, it's like, let's see, how many seconds off are you? Oh, you're like a full minute off now. Dang. Alright, I'll have to fix that another time. Time is somewhere between 11:06 and 11:07, as my watch doesn't have a hand to show seconds. It's the old-fashioned kind with a black leather strap and titanium casing. It doesn't look flashy, but a wristwatch doesn't need to. Hey. Remember that sketch you made of me? You said I looked grim and gloomy or something? I'd like to know what you meant by that. She gives me a weird look and tilts her head a few degrees to the left, but doesn't say anything for a while.
Well, you see, we've known each other for 2 weeks, and I haven't even seen you smile once.
Her striking observation gives me pause. Have I stopped smiling? I have to take what she says as truth. She has no reason to lie. Something about the way she put it annoys me. I frown at Rin, then try to correct my expression to look less depressed. I haven't been in the cheeriest of moods during the past few months or so. This is true. Does it show so much that someone like Rin can tell after so little contact with me? Should I try to smile more at Rin? Maybe she could appreciate it, having such a neutral face herself almost all the time. Have I really stopped smiling? I see. Should I smile more?
I don't mind either way. Be as you are. You can't help being Hisao anyway.
But it bothers you?
I just noticed it. That's all.
In comes Emmy. Emmy skips along the hallway, jumps to a sharp stop when she reaches us, and lightly pats Rin's shoulder.
Ready for lunch? Depends on what lunch is today. Remember that stew from March? Never again that. Let's go anyway! I'm starving!
As they're about to depart, Emmy turns from her friend to me, seemingly as an afterthought, and smiles charmingly.
By the way, Hisao?
Her tone is way too sweet and soft to be sincere. I can sense the trap about to be sprung upon me by this miniature health devil. I know what she's about to say before she even continues, because I've been trying to avoid her all week.
Still haven't seen you at the track this entire week.
Maybe I've been there when you haven't.
That's impossible. I'm there all the time.
But you sleep and go to class.
I do those at the same time as you do.
Yeah, I know. I just haven't been able to pick myself up. Don't rat me out to the nurse, okay? Running just isn't my thing, and I haven't come up with a good alternative.
Why don't you come to the track meet this weekend? Maybe you'll get inspired.
Track meet?
Yeah! People from a few other schools come here for some friendly track and field action. It's on Sunday afternoon.
I can't think of any reason not to go. Sure. I'll come and cheer for you. I guess you'll be running?
Of course! You'll get to see me beat them all. But bye now. If I don't get something to eat, I'll die.
See you later. Bye, Rin. I promise I'll smile next time. I call after her as a bit of an afterthought. Afterward, I feel embarrassed about it, but wonder why I said anything at all. Whatever. That night, when I'm doubly certain that Kenji won't be barging into the bathroom, I look in the mirror and smile at my reflection. The me in the mirror smiling at me in the bathroom looks awfully fake. Yeah, dude, you're not genuinely smiling. Try harder. Having exhausted the books Kenji lent me in just a few nights, I go back to the library, deeming it a safer alternative for getting my reading fix. I return the books he had stolen while I'm at it, to Yuko's delight. I don't tell her where I got them, though.
Wow, you sure read a lot, don't you?
Yeah, I guess I do. I mean, I do. Even I think it's weird. I think I might have a reading problem. Maybe I'm a junkie.
No, I didn't mean it that way. It's not weird at all. And being addicted to reading is a lot better than being addicted to something else.
Yeah, I know. It was a joke. I smile at her reassuringly and drop the books on the counter so Yuko can check them out. I feel tired, so I sit down in the vacant chair in front of her desk. While Yuko goes through the modest pile of reading material I found, I let my gaze wander around the library. At the tables, a pair of girls is chatting in hushed tones rather than working on their homework. The short-haired one notices me looking in their direction and waves at me. When I raise my hand back, they glance at each other and giggle in unison. I'm not sure how I feel about that, so I decide it's a good thing. The one who waved at me has a horrible case of epilepsy. I saw her having an attack a few days ago. It was one of the most disturbing and scary things I've seen in a very long time. Yet, there she is, happily chirping away about whatever, as if she didn't have a care in the world. You know, this school is really something else. Yuko raises her eyes from the books she's going through, slightly startled. She adjusts her glasses and puts on a nervous, confused smile.
What do you mean?
I don't really know how to explain it. It's just that everyone's so active, or how should I put it? It's not just the festival thing. I think, even though I haven't been here that long, but it's everything. People talk more, work harder, and just are more than any other school I've seen before. I'm struggling for words, but it feels like I'm speaking honestly. The school feels so alive. Alright, so is it making us feel sick, or is it refreshing? Or feel stuck? Why we feel boy, that's how. So we want to get him out of his being a cynic asshole. So making him feel like he's stuck is probably not a great thing. This is something new, something different. It should make him feel refreshed. Oh, hell. I thought I stretched enough today. Apparently not. Ugh. Also trying to wake up still here. What the hell? I didn't go to sleep that late last night. I think I go yawning. Fun times. Yeah, I can manage another 20 minutes or so. I'm gonna go with it feels refreshing. It's something new. Everyone's actually pretty chill for the most part. They're very inclusive, which is nice. Sure, there were some people like this in my old school too, but not as many. It feels more intense somehow. I think if I had to pin it down to one thing, the students here really appreciate going to school.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, me neither. Suddenly I realized I've just been babbling my thoughts to Yuko out of the blue. She's a bit of a jumpy person, so I fear I may have made a bad impression. She's looking at me with what I hope is curiosity rather than horror, so I figure she's alright. Sorry for suddenly talking about weird stuff like this. I didn't mean to trouble you.
Oh no, it's not troubling. I'm happy to listen if you feel like talking. It makes me feel a little reliable too.
Yuko smiles sweetly, and a little bit ironically at that. I respond with a thankful smile of my own. As she pushes the neat stack of books across the counter, I stand up and gather them in my arms.
Here you are.
Thank you.
I guess we'll be meeting each other again. Please come here anytime.
Yuko's kindness is heartwarming. You can count on it. See you later. Alright, just a nice little scene with Yuko. She's a lot less jumpy and a nervous wreck than in every other route I've seen her in so far. Which is nice. Wait. Track meet. Emmy. Oh no, the return of the Southern Belle Mother. The morning of the track meet greets me with a brilliant sunshine from the crystal blue sky. While I leisurely stroll towards the track, I decide this is a good sign. Of what? I'm not sure. This event isn't as exciting for me as it seems to be for a large portion of the student body. I'm even less interested in watching sports than than I'm participating in, but cheering for Emmy is a good cause. I'm not expecting this to be any sort of amazing and spectacular experience, but it can't hurt. I'd probably be spending the time reading while cooped up in my room otherwise. When I approach the bleachers, I spot Rin emerging from the crowd right before she spots me.
You came.
Of course. I said I would, didn't I?
That doesn't necessarily imply you had to follow through. Lots of people say things and don't mean them.
Well, I don't. Rin shrugs, seemingly bored with our conversation. She turns on her heel and heads towards the stands. So, are you excited about this?
Not really.
Me neither.
Then why did you come?
Why did you? Yeah, pull a Uno reverse card on her. Why did you come? No, you. Ugh. I totally used that wrong. I don't care. She doesn't reply at all, so I decide not to either. We enter the bleachers, and Rin nods upwards.
Up there.
Rin leads the way, and soon we're settled down on an almost empty bench. There's Mako. There's an older woman sitting next to Rin. Someone's mother, I assume. She's got rather long hair done up in a braid. On seeing Rin, she gives her an oddly familiar-seeming grin. Alright, gotta bring back the Southern Belle.
Well, this is surprising. I thought you went to get a snack, not a boy.
Huh?
This is no good.
The woman laughs at Rin and shakes her head, apparently unable to find a comeback for that. I know the feeling.
Well, I suppose you've always been one to go out for one thing and bring back another. But I'm being rude. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Mako Ibarazaki. I'm sure you know this girl. You've at least met my daughter, too. Pleased to meet you.
Well, that explains it. She's like a taller, older, more motherly Emmy. Emmy doesn't have a mole. Is that a mole, or is it just something on my screen? Yeah, it's a mole. Apart from her hair being somewhat darker than her daughter's, there's really no mistaking the resemblance. Sorry, I'm Hisao. Hisao Nakai. Nice to meet you. Rin! She knows who you are. I know who you are. You don't need to introduce... Oh, okay. I'm kind of starting to... Yeah, I'm kind of warming up to Rin now.
I'm Rin Tezuka.
Ms. Ibarazaki laughs again. She really does resemble her offspring. And then leans back a little on her seat and raises an eyebrow.
So, now that we all know each other, how long have you and Rin been dating?
My response consists of silence as my brain suddenly lurches into gear. But just before I begin to utter a hastily babbled explanation, Emmy's mother bursts into laughter again.
You're a blusher, aren't you?
I don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in this situation, so I settle for a mumbled response. We're not...
I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry for giving old woman her amusements.
She chuckles again to herself. Old old woman? She sure doesn't look that old to me. I suppose I can let it go.
How kind of you.
It's starting. I direct my attention to the track, where they're preparing for the first sprint. Looks like the 400-meter dash. Alright, so we go through the entire track meet thing from Emmy's route still. Okay, I like that. I do kind of like that, how, just looking back on it, Lily and Hanako's route had intersecting events that you went through twice, like Hanako's birthday. Which is nice. And also going out and shopping in town with Lily. And now even Emmy and Rin have some intersecting events here, like the track meet. Which makes sense. Emmy and Rin are a pair. Lily and Hanako are a pair. Shizune and Misha are a pair, but Shizune only has her own route. All the girls have pairs. Like, all the main characters here have pairs to them. Yeah, Lily, Hanako, Emmy and Rin, Shizune and Misha. So who's our pair? Kenji. Lily and Hanako are friends, so they are a pair. Emmy and Rin are friends, so they are a pair. Shizune and Misha are friends, so they are a pair. Kenji is our fucking friend, so he's our pair. Oh, no, not. Not. Of course we get stuck with Kenji. Why? Why does it always come back to Kenji? Like, seriously, why? Just... Ugh. Fucking Kenji. Kenji, goddamn Kenji. Alright, enough of him. I need to stop thinking about his insanity and get back to this. My eyes scan the runners before finding Emmy. She's smiling, with an almost cocky look on her face. The starter raises his pistol. Emmy explodes off the block, disappearing from the starting line in a blur. It's amazing. Even as the other sprinters converge on the lanes closest to the inside line, Emmy surges to the front of the pack. By the time she rounds the final turn, a few other runners have caught up with her. But she puts on a final burst of speed that leaves them all at least half a second behind her. Ms. Ibaruzaki whoops and shouts, applauding wildly, and generally looking like any other parent cheering on their child. Emmy bounds off the track, looking pleased with herself. I cheer right along with the rest of them. The announcer, sounding suspiciously like Misha, gleefully gives the results.
I think she's gotten faster since the last time.
That was incredible. Ms. Ibaruzaki grins proudly.
Emma's a heck of a runner.
He falls silent as the next event prepares to start. I'm surprised to see Emmy striding out onto the track again. Wait, didn't she just run? Emmy's mother nods.
Yes, but she runs multiple events for the team, especially the sprints. It's a lot of running, but Emmy can handle it.
From the looks of things, she's right. Emmy doesn't appear to be tired, as if she hadn't run the previous event at all. If not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you'd never know. Which event is this?
It's the 200-meter dash. She'll do this one, the 100-meter, and the relay.
I see. Once again, the pistol sounds, and once again, Emmy flies off the block. A thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. It's Rin's foot. She seems completely absorbed in the race. Emmy's mother cheers again, and I'm assuming that the race is over. I assume. Sprints don't seem to me like they take very long to complete. Your foot. Your foot was bouncing on the bleachers. Oh. You seem pretty into this stuff. I'm surprised. Thought you said you wouldn't. This wouldn't be exciting.
I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting. But I'm watching Emmy, not the sport.
I don't follow.
Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. You don't get to see Emmy at her Emmyest very often. But here you can. See?
She directs my attention toward the track again, where the 100-meter dash is about to start. I watch Emmy closely. As she gets onto the starter blocks, her whole body seems to relax, but it's a false relaxation. I can see she's actually coiled like a spring. As the starter tells everyone to get set, her head snaps up and her eyes narrow slightly. Her mouth curls upward in what could be a grin and could be a growl. The pistol goes off. It's as if she's been unleashed from a cage, like she was always moving at this blinding speed, but we couldn't see it happen until the starter's pistol dispelled the illusion of motionlessness. As soon as she crosses the finish line, the fierce look was replaced by her normal grin. The conquering general returning to his farm. Amazing. She's really amazing. I've never seen someone move that fast.
Well, don't look at me. I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. No, I think Emmy's prowess all came from her father's side.
At the mention of Emmy's father, Mizurazaki looks wistful, almost sad.
He got into running, you know.
Ah, really? I didn't know that. I leave it at that and don't say anything for a while. I get the feeling this is something personal I shouldn't ask about. Yeah, we all know. A beeping noise suddenly emanates from Mizubrazaki's pocket. Reaching into it, she pulls out a cell phone and looks at it.
Honestly, text messages? What is he, 16? Oh, nothing. I gotta go meet up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Emmy I'm very proud of her, and that I'll call her later tonight?
Of course. Yeah, he. I wonder who he is that she has to meet up with. It's the nurse. They confirmed. They confirmed. Emmy's mom and the nurse are banging. While waiting for the relay to start, I peer at Rin. She seems uninterested in her surroundings, myself included. That remark she made before is stuck in my head. Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. It does make sense, now that I think about it. After seeing her run now, I can believe that Emmy gives her all on the track. Sports are more of a hobby or even a competition to her. Or more than a hobby or even a competition to her. They're a defining aspect of her life. What about Rin then? Does she feel the same way about art? Considering the persistence she displayed before the festival, I could easily believe it. Did I see Rin at her most Rin when she was painting the mural? The relay is about to begin, but I don't see Emmy anywhere. I thought Emmy ran the relay.
She runs anchor, so she won't be running for a while yet.
Ah.
Did you see it?
Huh?
Emmy at her Emmyest.
Maybe.
Maybe this time.
The race begins, and I cheer Emmy's teammates along as they pass the baton. Finally, I see Emmy sprinting onto the track to take the final handoff. Once again, I'm taken aback by how graceful she looks when she runs. It really is beautiful. The look of determination and fearlessness on her face only adds to the picture. Emmy at her Emmyest, I suppose. Emmy flies across the finish line with a great leap, just barely ahead of the next runners, but still in first.
Well, let's go down. Gotta crown the victor. See if you can find a laurel branch.
That's not going to be easy. Rin shrugs.
At least we tried.
Emmy's surrounded by her teammates, all of them congratulating her on the run. Rin seems to be waiting for Emmy to notice that she's arrived. Doesn't seem her style to draw attention to herself, or to emote beyond shrugging. Being more impatient than Rin, I wave to Emmy in her stead. She looks up and grins happily at us.
Hey, you showed up! I would have brought you a crown of laurels, but Asao didn't find one.
Neither did you.
It wasn't my job to look.
When did we assign jobs?
When I said, see if you can find a laurel branch. Try to keep up.
I shrug. Guess Rin's rubbing off on me. Seems it's my fault after all, Emmy. Emmy laughs at Rin and me.
It's okay. I'm sure you'll make it up to me somehow.
Sure.
Good. So, how did I look?
Very impressive. Emmy seems pleased with this assessment. I don't mention how much more impressive her performance is given her lack of legs. I figure she knows that already. Besides, it seems it would take away from her efforts somehow.
Great to hear. I was worried I looked a little slow on the relay, but I guess I did fine, huh?
Emmy giggles, then seems to remember something.
Oh, before I forget, Rin and I are going to do something next Sunday. It's a post-track meet celebration. You should come along. Normally we do it the day after, but since today is Sunday, I've got homework and class and all that stuff to take care of.
Oh, sure. I'd love to.
Great! It's a promise then.
Oh, right. Your mom wanted to say she's proud of you. She'll call you later tonight.
I thought I saw her in the stands. I'm glad she made it.
Hey, Emmy! You gotta miss the medal ceremony.
Oh yeah, thanks!
She turns to Rin and myself.
You don't have to stick around for this part. It takes forever. Besides, you should get cracking on your homework now if you don't want to be up late, Asao.
Emmy skips back to her teammates, leaving me and Rin by ourselves. Neither of us has the slightest interest in the post-competition ceremonies, so we silently get away and back to the quad. Rin yawns, not even trying to restrain herself, and shuffles her feet around restlessly. I feel awkward, but less so than if I was with someone else. Still, I'm left hanging, not knowing what I should say next. Emmy was great, wasn't she? She was great. I'm very jealous of her. Why? Like I said, don't you think it's great to be able to really be yourself? Sounds weird coming from Rin. I don't think you, of all people, should find trouble finding a way to express yourself. Don't you have your paintings? She turns to look at me. For the first time, I see in her eyes this strange, hollow expression that I think must be unique to her. No, you see, the problem is that I'm not really sure who I am. Okay. Rin doesn't know who she is. Interesting. And I am going to save. And call it there for today. Alright, interesting. We're in the art club. Rin at least complimented our first attempt at drawing. She's not super happy with her own drawings, and even that last line there, she doesn't know who she's supposed to be. That's a little much. It's clearly a lot more to Rin than I initially thought. So yeah, something's going on. Hopefully you'll be able to find out more of that soon. Alright, so... Again, tomorrow, stream is going to be postponed till later in the day. How late? I'm unsure. Tentatively, I'll say 5 o'clock. But it could be later than that. Again, just keep an eye out on Twitter. Links of all that is down below. I'll try to keep everyone informed there. And that'll just be a Stardew Valley stream. Simple, easy, as usual. By Saturday night, I should have my schedule for next week up. Sunday may also end up being a later stream as well. Because I think that work we're going to be doing is going to carry over. Potentially. So anyway, thanks everyone for watching, commenting, lurking. I actually really do appreciate it very much. I hope your Friday goes really well. I'll see you next time.